What if the secret to living to 100 wasn't about what you add to your diet, but what you remove? According to the oldest physicians in Japan, the path to a long, vibrant life means avoiding 3 specific, healthy foods that go against everything we've been taught about nutrition. And they claim this single change is more powerful than any superfood or supplement you could buy. For decades, we've been told to load up on whole grains, choose heart-healthy vegetable oils, and pack in the protein. But a comprehensive review of data from Japan's leading longevity clinics reveals a shocking contradiction. The very foods we've been instructed to eat for better health are, for many people, creating the exact opposite effect inside their bodies. They are silently triggering a state of chronic, low-grade inflammation that accelerates the aging process year after year. This isn't about an allergic reaction or a sudden illness. It's a slow, silent process. A hidden fire smoldering within, damaging cells, stiffening joints, and clouding mental clarity, all while you believe you're making the right choices. These Japanese doctors, some of whom are still practicing medicine in their 90s, don't just study this in textbooks. They see the results in their patients every single day. They observe the dramatic improvements in vitality, cognitive function, and overall wellness that occur when these 3 specific dietary triggers are identified and eliminated. The most powerful part of their findings is the simplicity. You don't need a pharmacy of supplements. You don't need to follow a bizarre or extreme diet. The most profound leap you can make for your long-term health is to stop consuming the handful of common foods that are actively working against your body's natural desire to heal and thrive. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what these 3 foods are. You will understand the biological mechanism behind why they are so harmful. And most importantly, you will have a clear, simple plan for what to eat instead, a plan based on the time-tested wisdom of the world's longest-lived population. Your journey to a longer, healthier life doesn't start with an addition. It begins with a simple, powerful subtraction. Based on just the title, which of the 3 healthy foods are you most worried might be in your diet? So, what is really happening inside your body when you consume these so-called healthy foods? The best way to understand it is with a single, powerful concept. Think of it as a silent fire. This isn't the kind of fire you feel like a fever or an injury. This is different. It's a low-grade, systemic inflammation that smolders quietly in the background, day after day. You can't feel its heat, but its effects are devastatingly real. This silent fire is the body's defense system stuck in the on position. It's a constant, low-level alarm that never gets shut off. And when this alarm keeps ringing, it starts to damage the very tissues and cells it's supposed to protect. Imagine the wiring in your home. A short circuit creates a small, persistent spark behind your walls. You can't see it. You might not even smell it at first. But over months and years, it slowly chars the wooden frames, weakens the structure, and creates a constant, hidden danger. That is what this silent fire does to your body. It slowly damages the delicate lining of your blood vessels, making them less flexible and more prone to plaque buildup. It attacks your joint tissue, leading to that feeling of stiffness and ache. It even reaches your brain, where it can cloud your thinking and damage the neurons responsible for your sharpest memories. A 2024 Global Health Review that analyzed decades of dietary data identified a key inflammatory marker called interleukin-6. This marker is like the smoke from this hidden fire. The research clearly showed that modern diets, packed with specific types of processed foods, keep interleukin-6 levels chronically high. This is the biological betrayal. You eat a food you believe is good for you, and instead of nourishment, it adds another piece of fuel to this internal blaze. It might be a seemingly innocent slice of bread, a splash of cooking oil, or a protein bar. The Japanese longevity philosophy is fundamentally about preventing and putting out this fire. Their traditional diet isn't just a list of foods, it's a system designed to be anti-inflammatory by its very nature. It's about choosing foods that cool the flames, not fan them. Understanding this changes everything. It moves the goal from just counting calories or avoiding sugar to asking a more profound question about any food you eat. Is this going to feed the fire or help put it out? This is the core of the warning from Japan's oldest doctors. They see the cumulative effect of a lifetime of adding fuel to this fire. And they have identified the 3 biggest culprits hiding in plain sight. Once you understand the concept of the silent fire, you can never look at your plate the same way again. It empowers you to make choices that protect your body from the inside out, paving the way for a life that is not just longer, but vibrantly healthy and free from the slow burn of inflammation. After hearing this, what's the first thing you'll look for on a food label from now on? Now, let's expose the first of these 3 dietary villains. This is the one most people are convinced is the cornerstone of a healthy diet. We're talking about unfermented whole grains. And we're calling it what it truly is, the gut grenade. When you eat a piece of modern whole wheat bread or a bowl of whole grain cereal, you believe you're giving your body fiber and nutrients. And while that's partially true, you are also introducing a compound that acts like a tiny explosive in your digestive system. This compound is called phytic acid. In traditional diets, grains were always prepared through slow fermentation. This process, used to make authentic sourdough bread, neutralizes the phytic acid. But in our modern fast-paced food production, this vital step is almost always skipped. So what happens when this gut grenade reaches your stomach? The phytic acid doesn't just sit there peacefully. It has a strong binding affinity for essential minerals like magnesium, zinc, and iron. It latches onto them, creating a compound that your body cannot absorb. It literally robs you of the very nutrients you think you're consuming. But the damage doesn't stop there. This is where the concept of the silent fire returns in full force. A 15-year digestive health initiative that followed thousands of seniors made a startling discovery. They found that participants who consumed unfermented whole grains daily had significantly higher markers for a condition often referred to as leaky gut. The phytic acid, along with other harsh compounds in these grains, can act as a persistent irritant to the delicate, single-cell thick lining of your intestine. Think of this lining as a finely woven screen door. Its job is to let the good, digested nutrients through while keeping out larger, harmful particles. The gut grenade slowly frays and shreds this delicate screen. It creates tiny holes. When this happens, undigested food particles, bacteria, and toxins that were supposed to stay in your gut now leak directly into your bloodstream. Your immune system, patrolling your bloodstream, sees these foreign invaders and sounds a massive alarm. It launches a full-scale inflammatory attack. This is the silent fire being fed a massive load of gasoline. This systemic inflammation is now free to travel throughout your entire body, attacking your joints, your arteries, and even your brain. This is the opposite of health. You eat something to be healthy, and it ends up triggering a chain reaction that fans the flames of chronic disease. This is the devastating paradox that the Japanese doctors identified. Their solution is not to avoid grains entirely, but to return to the traditional, wiser ways of preparing them. In Japan, the focus is on fermented soy, and when grains are consumed, they are often well-cooked and polished white rice, which is gentle on the gut. Or, they are fermented. This is why authentic, long-fermented sourdough bread is a completely different food. The fermentation process has already predigested the phytic acid. The gut grenade has been disarmed. What remains is a food that is far easier for your body to process, allowing you to get the benefits without the inflammatory shrapnel. The goal is to nourish your body, not wage a war within it. By disarming this first villain, you take a monumental step toward extinguishing the silent fire and creating an internal environment where longevity can truly flourish. Tell us in the comments, which sounds more appealing to you now, sourdough bread or white rice? Now we come to the second villain, and this one is perhaps the most deceptive of all. It's hidden in everything from salad dressings and mayonnaise to packaged snacks and restaurant foods. We are talking about industrial seed oils, corn, soybean, canola, and sunflower oil. And we have a name for them, the rusty oil. Calling these vegetable oils is one of the great marketing tricks of the last century. They are not squeezed from wholesome vegetables. They are industrial products, extracted from seeds using high heat, chemical solvents, and intensive processing. From the very moment they are created, they are unstable and prone to a dangerous process called oxidation. Think of oxidation like rust on a car. When metal is exposed to air and moisture, it corrodes, weakens, and eventually fails. A very similar process happens inside your body when you consume these rusty oils. These oils are loaded with a type of polyunsaturated fat called omega-6. While our bodies need a tiny amount of omega-6, the modern diet has created a massive overload. This imbalance is like pouring gasoline on the silent fire we discussed. It tells your body to produce more and more inflammatory compounds. But the real danger happens when you heat these oils, or even when they sit in your body. They create destructive molecules called free radicals. These are unstable molecules that ricochet around your cells like tiny bullets, trying to stabilize themselves by stealing electrons from your healthy cells. This process is the cellular equivalent of rust. These free radicals damage your cell membranes, the protective barriers that keep your cells functioning properly. They attack your proteins. They even damage your DNA. This is oxidative stress, and it is a primary driver of accelerated aging. A landmark investigation into cellular aging analyzed the fat tissue of thousands of adults. The results were staggering. Individuals who primarily used industrial seed oils for cooking had biomarkers of oxidative stress that were 50% higher than those who used traditional, stable fats. Their cells were, quite literally, rusting from the inside out at a dramatically faster rate. This constant barrage of free radicals forces your body into a state of perpetual repair, diverting energy that should be used for healing, rejuvenation, and cognitive function. It directly damages the mitochondria, the power plants of your cells, leading to that persistent feeling of low energy and fatigue. This is why the Japanese dietary tradition is so brilliant in its avoidance of this villain. Instead of these unstable, processed rusty oils, their cuisine is built on a foundation of stable, traditional fats. They use sesame oil, which has a beautiful, nutty flavor and natural antioxidants that protect it from breaking down. They use rice bran oil for high-heat cooking because it has a very high smoke point, meaning it remains stable and doesn't turn into toxic smoke and aldehydes. Even the fats they get from their abundant fish consumption are anti-inflammatory omega-3s, which help to balance the scales. The switch is simple, but the impact is profound. By replacing the rusty oils in your kitchen with these stable, time-tested alternatives, you are not just changing a flavor. You are removing a primary source of cellular rust and disarming a major trigger for the silent fire. You are giving your cells a fighting chance to remain healthy, resilient, and young. On your next shopping trip, will you be looking for sesame oil or olive oil first? Comment down below. We have disarmed the gut grenade and poured water on the rusty oils. Now, we arrive at the most surprising villain of all, the one that has been relentlessly promoted as the key to health and fitness. This is the villain of excess protein, and we call it the growth signal saboteur. In the Western world, we are obsessed with protein. We add protein powder to our shakes, we snack on protein bars, and we center our meals around large portions of meat. The message is clear. More protein equals more strength, more health. But the oldest doctors in Japan have observed a shocking contradiction to this rule. The problem isn't protein itself. Your body absolutely needs it. The danger lies in the constant, excessive overload. To understand why, you need to know about a critical cellular pathway called mTOR. Think of mTOR as your body's master growth switch. When it's turned on, it tells your cells to grow, divide, and build protein. This is essential for building muscle, healing from injury, and for childhood development. But this switch was never meant to be stuck in the on position forever. The amino acid leucine, which is abundant in animal protein and protein supplements, is the most powerful key for this switch. When you consistently eat large amounts of protein, you are jamming that key in the lock, forcing your body into a perpetual state of grow, grow, grow. This sounds good until you realize what gets sacrificed. When the growth switch is always on, your body's most crucial maintenance and cleanup system is forced to shut down. This system is called autophagy. Autophagy, which means self-eating, is your body's internal recycling program. During this process, your cells seek out old, damaged components, dysfunctional proteins, and cellular debris, breaking them down to be reused for energy and repair. It is a fundamental housekeeping process that is essential for preventing cellular garbage from piling up. A long-term dietary analysis of populations in longevity hotspots made a profound discovery. Through blood tests, they found that individuals who consumed the most animal protein, particularly at dinner, showed a 70% suppression of the key markers for autophagy. Their cellular cleanup crews were being sent home while the construction crews worked overtime. This is the sabotage. You are actively preventing your body from taking out the trash. Over time, this accumulated cellular garbage contributes directly to the aging process. It is linked to neurodegenerative diseases, weakened immune function, and of course, it fuels the systemic inflammation of the silent fire. This is where the legendary Japanese principle of hara hachi bu, eating until you are 80% full, becomes a powerful scientific intervention. It is not just about portion control. It is a deliberate strategy to avoid overloading your system with protein and other nutrients, thereby allowing the mTOR switch to turn off and the vital process of autophagy to turn on. Their protein sources are also strategic. Instead of a massive steak, they enjoy smaller portions of fish, rich in omega-3s, or plant-based proteins from tofu and edamame. This provides adequate protein without the massive leucine spike that comes from a heavy meat-centric meal. By disarming the growth signal saboteur, you are not depriving your body. You are giving it the essential downtime it needs to clean house, repair itself at a deep cellular level, and maintain its delicate balance. You are shifting your body's priority from constant growth to intelligent maintenance, which is the true secret to preserving your health for decades to come. Tell us in the comments, which 80% full meal are you most excited to try? A fish-based dinner or a plant-based lunch? Now you understand the three villains. You have seen how the gut grenade shreds your intestinal lining, how the rusty oil corrodes your cells from within, and how the growth signal saboteur blocks your body's essential self-cleaning process. Individually, they are dangerous. Together, they form a perfect storm that feeds the silent fire and accelerates aging. But here is the most powerful and hopeful part of this entire discovery. You are not helpless against this assault. In fact, you hold the power to reverse it completely. The Japanese longevity secret is about flipping a single biological master control. We call it the longevity switch. For years, your switch has been stuck in the aging position, fueled by these three dietary villains. Now, it is time to consciously, deliberately flip it to longevity. This is not a complicated medical procedure. It is a simple series of dietary swaps that sends an undeniable signal to your body. It tells your systems to stop fighting, stop inflaming, and start repairing. When you swap the gut grenade of unfermented whole grains for gentle, fermented sourdough or well-cooked white rice, you are flipping the first part of the switch. You are telling your gut to heal, sealing the leaks that allowed toxins to fan the flames of inflammation. When you swap the rusty oil of industrial seed oils for stable, antioxidant-rich sesame oil or olive oil, you are flipping the second part of the switch. You are disarming the free radicals, stopping the cellular rust, and providing your cells with the stable building blocks they need to thrive. And when you swap the growth signal saboteur of excessive protein for the wisdom of hara hachibu and strategic fish or plant proteins, you are flipping the final, and most crucial, part of the switch. You are activating autophagy, your body's ultimate renewal and cleanup system, allowing it to take out the trash and repair damaged components. A recent clinical intervention trial put this exact protocol to the test. Participants who made these three swaps saw a dramatic reduction in the key biomarkers for the silent fire within just 90 days. Their bodies responded almost immediately to the new, clear instructions they were being given. This is the beautiful synergy of the Japanese approach. It is not a list of random tips. It is a coherent system where each part supports the others. A healthy gut absorbs nutrients better. Stable fats protect the cells. And controlled protein intake allows for cellular renewal. Together, they create a powerful, self-reinforcing cycle of vitality. You have been operating with the wrong manual for your body's complex machinery. Now you have the right one. Flipping the longevity switch is about choosing nourishment that protects, rather than food that provokes. It is the ultimate act of empowerment for your long-term health. Your body is waiting for the signal to heal itself. All you have to do is flip the switch. Comment, Which of the 3 food swaps do you think will be the easiest to make a part of your life? You now possess a powerful secret, the knowledge of the 3 dietary villains and the simple act of flipping the longevity switch. This knowledge is the first and most important step. But knowledge without action remains just an idea. This is where your mission begins. Your first and most important mission is to become the guardian of your own kitchen. To transform it from a source of the silent fire into a place of nourishment and longevity. To make this mission simple and effortless for you, we have created a special resource. It is a free PDF guide we are calling the Longevity Kitchen Checklist. This is not a complicated diet plan or a confusing recipe book. It is a straightforward, one-page guide. On it, you will find a clear list of the 3 villains to avoid on your next grocery trip, right alongside the powerful, stable, and gentle swaps to look for instead. It is your personal cheat sheet for building a foundation of health, inspired by the wisdom of the world's longest-lived people. This guide will help you make these transformative choices with confidence and ease. The journey to a longer, more vibrant life is not built on a single drastic change, but on the small, consistent decisions you make every day. It starts with your very next meal. It starts with what you choose to put in your grocery cart. If you are ready to join us on this mission for your long-term health, we would be honored to have you as part of our community. Subscribe to the channel as we begin building this community together, focused on sharing powerful, senior-friendly health insights. To help us get started and learn what matters most to you, we have one simple question. Tell us in the comments, what is one single insight from this video that you'll remember on your next grocery trip? It could be the gut grenade, the rusty oils, the growth signal saboteur, or the powerful idea of the longevity switch. We will be reading every single comment, and your insight will help guide our community forward. Thank you for watching. Your health is your greatest wealth. We are excited to be on this journey with you.